Welcome everybody to the third session of Build Palestine's Mobilizing for Gaza webinar series. Again, I invite everybody to tell us where you're joining us from, wherever you are. Some housekeeping items before I start. This webinar will be in English, so if you need interpretation to Arabic, please head to the interpretation section. الويبينار راح يكون باللغة الإنجليزية، فإذا محتاجين ترجمة للغة العربية بتقدروا تحصلوا عليها من السيتنجز تحت. This session will be recorded and it will be sent to everybody after the webinar, and we will also send all the resources that will be mentioned today from our speakers with the follow-up blog and an email to everybody who registered for this webinar. We also welcome your questions, so please send them in the Q&A function so our speakers can answer them. We only have 60 minutes. We're not expected to address everything, but we hope that this is an opportunity for you to stay connected with our speakers, where we will provide their information to you, and you can follow up after the webinar if you have any opportunities or questions to our speakers. So, to introduce myself, my name is Lama Amir. I am the Executive Director of Build Palestine, and I will be your moderator for today. Build Palestine is a Palestinian-based social enterprise where we empower grassroots change makers who are working to make an impact in Palestine. And we do this through providing them one-on-one support, but also by connecting them to the global community of supporters just like you. In this webinar, we will discuss a crucial, and we usually discuss in this webinar series, crucial and timely topics that require our immediate action by speaking to actors who are participating in problem solving to issues on the ground. And I want to highlight that we don't only work with people who are now responding to the immediate problems on the ground, but we also want to think together about the future, about how can we solve more sustainably and not to stay in the same loop as Palestinians. So it is really an important piece of this webinar, we solve today, but how we can make this more sustainable for the future. So today's webinar, we will be speaking about creating jobs for Palestinians. So while I was preparing for this webinar, I spoke to the different speakers I have today. And one thing that all of the speakers actually mentioned about the calls they receive from their community members in Gaza, that the call from Gazan people in Gaza is that we want our jobs back. And we want them because we want to feel normal and we want to feel alive, which made it like even for me to realize that this is not just about money, this is not just about livelihood, it's about hope. It's about them feeling appreciate and have something to accomplish in this life. To give you some history about digital work in Palestine, digital work has long been a viable option for Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, not only to make a living in a challenging economy, but also to make a difference and be presented on the global scene. As Palestine has been under occupation for 76 years, we don't control borders, exports, imports, our natural resources, or right to movement, and even our human resources and brilliant minds and souls are stolen or in captivity. Presenting our talent in the digital world has been a window of hope and an option for Palestinians to believe that they can build the Palestine they want to see. So again, I would like to welcome everybody in our third session, and I will kickstart by introducing our speakers. We first have Abeer Abu Ghaith, the founder and CEO of MENA Alliances, a platform to connect talent not just from Palestine, but from the MENA region with job opportunities around the world. Abeer has been recognized as one of the most powerful Arab under 40, and her social enterprise, MENA Alliances, was recognized as one of 100 meaningful businesses in the world. Welcome, Abeer. We also have Jafar Shunnar, a co-founder of TAB, Talent Acceleration Project. Jafar is a Palestinian entrepreneur with a passion for social impact and youth empowerment. Through TAB, a social enterprise that he has co-founded, he strives to empower Arab youth to work at global organizations remotely. Welcome, Jafar. We also have Fadi Issawi, the co-founder of Globist and HopeHub initiative in Gaza, which is providing co-working space now for freelancers who are based in Gaza and soon for Gazans in Egypt. Fadi is a Gazan entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience in entrepreneurship, business development, and economic empowerment. He's joining us now from Turkey. Welcome, Fadi. So to kickstart this discussion, would like to start with Abeer. If you can provide us with a brief overview about MENA Alliances and also delve into the latest initiatives that you have recently launched, Jobs for Palestine.
Yeah, sure. So MENA Alliances, it's a social impact tech company that connect global businesses with top talented professionals from the Middle East and North Africa, while empowering talent through giving them training. So we are focusing on three main services, which is tech talent, and we offer also complementary services like like translation and localization, and also training data for AI and machine learning. Till now, MENA Alliances was able to create 700 job opportunities for women and young people in the MENA region, and we also train more than 3,000 talents on different skills that enable them to work online. MENA Alliance is created in 2013, and it's all about the story of me not finding job. And my story is not unique. It's just like one of many stories that exist in Palestine. And I was so upset not being able to find job. And that's because, of course, the main reason, just to make it sure that the main reason is the occupation, because it's putting checkpoints on in the area and in every city entrance and exit in city and villages in Palestine. And I want to say that this is the main reason why we created that. Now, then I found that there is need, not just in Palestine, but also there is refugees exist in Jordan and also in Lebanon and in other places where people need opportunities. Now, I will talk about Jobs for Palestine, which is the initiative that we created recently. Jobs for Palestine initiative, its aims to offer or to empower Palestinians by offering them jobs after more than million or 500,000 job opportunities was lost. And what I noticed that in this war or in this conflict, especially what happened in Gaza and in West Bank, what the occupation is trying to do is to show us that there is no hope. Just leave the world, leave the country, just leave. So they trying to destroy university, or they destroyed universities, they destroyed everything. And then I said, no, and then I said, this is what they wanted. So, but what we can do is, we can fight occupation by offering hope. So that's what I believe it's the strong way, and that's why we start just creating this initiative, and we start seeing how much people need this opportunity, how much people in Gaza specifically, which was for me strange that everyone in Gaza want to have job and they asking for jobs. Even when we tried as a company to offer aids, they said no, please give us job. They are very proud. They want sustainable way. They want to feel that there is a future after, after they lost their homes, after they lost their, families. They want to be able to see future, and jobs, it's able to give them the future.
Thank you, Abeer. And I think now to get more a deeper view on the views from Gaza, I think Fadi can now tell us the story on how he started. That started actually after the aggression on Gaza. And because I heard the story, so please, would you share the story with the audience?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Lema, and thank you for having this opportunity. Before telling the story about HopeHub, I just need to give a brief about ACT, which is who is behind HopeHub. HopeHub is the initiative, and ACT is the social enterprise behind HopeHub, where ACT was before the war trying to empower the youth and the talents in Gaza and Palestine, and even in refugees in different countries like Turkey, like Syria and Lebanon. What we were doing is providing an infrastructure for talents and for freelancers, remote workers to do their work. We had a co-working space in Gaza City before the war. I hope it's still available up until now. And the space was hosting more than 150 person at a time. Also, we were providing some technical and vocational training for different technical fields, as well as we were enabling people to build their freelance and remote work career through empowering their skills and capabilities of doing that. What happened that during the war, everything collapsed and everything stopped in Gaza City. Even for my business, I have also some employees there working for my business in Gaza. I lost the connection with them. We lost most of the connection even with our families, and it was a very hard moment at that time. The co-founder of ACT is Salah. He's our brave and brilliant co-founder. He was facing the demolishing of everything in Gaza while he was in Gaza City at that time. The last thing that he thought that he will lose his house. He lost his apartment and his house, and he saw the building collapsing in front of his eyes. So he fled to the southern Gaza with his childs and trying to find a path to survive. He called me at that moment. He called me immediately when he reached Rafah. He was very depressed. It was a hard moment for him to feel and face the death in front of his eyes and his child's eyes. It was a very bad moment for him, and he called me depressed. Actually, and he felt there is no hope in this world. No one is stopping this genocide. No one is doing anything to stop this crime that we are facing. So we had that crazy idea. We said, okay, if no one is behind this to stop, so we need not to stop also. And we thought about HopeHub. Actually, at that moment, it was a very crazy idea just to do something like that and to build a co-working space for people who are in shelters, and even most of them didn't have a shelter even. Most of them in tents were made from greenhouses, and it's not safe. It's not stable. It's not providing any basic needs for a person to live. And we started the initiative with a small tenant with one solar panel and a slight of internet connection, very bad internet connection, just to provide something for people. And amazingly, we had almost 6 or 7 person coming and going out from this place. After that, we started the first co-working space in a good area and a good space in Rafah City. And amazingly, we didn't thought that people will join, and we will need at least 10 days just to bring people and to tell people, please stick with hope, stick with your future, and come again. After the opening, 24 hours after the opening, the place was crowded, and it's overcrowded, and it's occupied with 160 person of occupancy of our space. So this this was something that strengthened our hope in our nation, in our people in Gaza, and they are still in need, and they're still looking for more support for that.
That's amazing, Fadi. Like, I don't know how we can define hope other than that, honestly. Great idea for the naming. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Turning to you, Jafar, tell us more about TAB and also about your latest initiative, Palestine's Future.
Sure. Thank you, Lama, and great to be part of this this panel and this webinar. TAB is a platform that empowers Palestinian youth through education and jobs. So our goal is to really provide these bright people living in Palestine with the opportunity that they deserve. You know, when we look around, when you look around in Palestine, you know, due to the situation, you notice that people are just wasting their potential. You know, they're depending on what can be made available by the market, you know, the local market. Of course, the local market, there is no way it can sustain the number of people entering the job market. So it's mathematically impossible to expect that everybody who graduates out of university will be able to get a job. And the real solution to the unemployment problem in Palestine is to look abroad. So we have to enable our youth to be able to, you know, work remotely, network with companies from all around the world, as well as building the skills. You know, they do have the raw potential, but they need some help, some guidance, and that's what we provide. You know, we make sure that they are at the expectation of companies abroad. You know, we make sure that they get the right upskilling, that they get the right mentorship, that their employability skills are high, and then we connect them with companies abroad where they can work remotely. Yeah, we operate across all Palestine, you know, West Bank and Gaza, Jerusalem and other places. And yeah, since the war on Gaza in October, of course, all the operations in Gaza have stopped. But we're seeing some hope, you know, we're seeing some signs of things getting back to normal. So we hope that stays. And then we hope that we can get Gaza back online as soon as possible. I'd love to share more details about the Palestine Future Initiative, which we launched, which is basically connecting 1,000 Palestinian youth to 1,000 professionals globally for the purpose of mentorship or providing internships or providing jobs. So would love to invite the audience, anyone who's interested in helping a Palestinian in the space of jobs to be part of this initiative. And I'll share with you the link in a bit. Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jafar. So I would like to address now a question to all of you, since you've been working with Palestinian talent for years now. How do you describe the talent pool in Palestine, and why should recruiters consider hiring from Palestine? And is there any considerations that they should take in mind? So maybe we start with you, Abeer.
Yeah, thank you. I like this question because we have a lot that Palestinian can offer. So actually, first of all, when you Palestine has one of the highest education people, or number of education of people there. We have a very you know, like resilience people who can work with the companies, and they can offer really always good solutions, and always they are always facing a problem and solving this problem. So the problem solving, it's very strong for Palestinian, because they always face a problem, and always we find a way to go through these problems. we are very creative, or Palestinian very creative, because also, like our daily life, it's include that we have to go from one place to another place. Sometimes you find everything closed, you have to find another route or solve problems. And I find that that this kind of skills it's exist in with Palestinian also, they like to do the job quickly. I don't know from where that's, but we are very fast in doing work. So they are always trying to do their job as soon as possible. So there is no late or no delay in completing their task. The other thing that what you can expect from Palestinian also, that they understand also the global or I would say the MENA region perspective. So, for example, if there is company in New York or like in Europe want to extend their operation to the MENA region, Palestinian they speak English and Arabic language, so they can easily adapt with that and guide you how you can expand to the MENA market. The other thing, which is I think also important, that they are like once you hired Palestinian, you diversify your talent or your team, and you bring a different perspective on the table. The other thing that I want to mention as well, which is important in my opinion, that we have a proven track record on working on international contracts. So Palestinian worked with international multinational companies. Like for example, we worked with Apple, we worked with with organizations like Intel, or companies like Intel, HP, all of these companies, the big companies. So we have this kind of proven track record that we can prove. The English language for Palestinian is very strong. So usually Palestinian, they know how, they are very good in English in general. They are easy to go. They are very optimistic, by the way, despite the challenges that we have. We're always optimistic. I really never saw any optimistic people like Palestinian. I don't want to be like a bias, but I'm working with different talent from all the MENA region. But seriously, I never saw never saw talent like Palestinian in their optimistic. Always thinking about the future. Always they know that there is still, even if they fail, they know that they can do it again. Now, I want to just like Lama mention something about the culture, the Palestinian culture, because everyone, like here in London, when I speak about Palestinian, they say, why you have high education rates? I always say that, look, we are under occupation for years now. And we, as a Palestinian, know, and our families know, that we might lose our home or our land and everything that we have. But the occupation, they can't steal our knowledge. And that's why Palestinian families invest heavily in education. So that's why also you will see a lot of Palestinian in the Gulf region working, and they are very, very, they have a very unique perspective. And we are very critical thinking. So we always say what in our mindset. So we are not just like waiting that our manager to give us like a feedback, or for example to give us like a instruction. They are always take initiative, and also giving ideas. So that's in my opinion why you have to hire Palestinian, and you have to be like I think that they will enrich your talent pool. And I'm sure, I can guarantee you that no one will lose when they hire Palestinian.
And
It's
you
a
hire
value.
700 people, right? So
Yeah, I know. And exactly. So a lot of people, they love working with Palestinian, and they did not expect that always, that how they work. So some people say, how they work while there is bombing everywhere. They have like a checkpoints here and here. I said, we are Palestinian. So that's our normal life. So we know how to go through that, all of that. So if there's employees go through all of these steps or all of these challenges, so can you imagine in terms of business how they can deal with your business? So I believe it will be like a big win for companies and businesses.
In the entrepreneurship world here in Palestine, they say if you make it in Palestine, you can make it anywhere. So that's like your biggest threat. And I honestly believe that the word thrive was created for Palestinians. So that's what we do. So turning to you,
sorry. You know, Lema, I have a friend. She's in politics and in US, and she said, I always notice that Palestinians successful in business and in US, very successful. So she always say that they are successful in business, and I said yes. Again, like if you can make it in Palestine, you can make it anywhere.
It's a survival tactic, I guess. So turning to you, Jafar, tell us, like you work with the young Palestinian generation that is entering their careers. Why we should hire a Palestinian?
I think the key reason, which I actually experienced myself, when I worked as a developer, I was building software for companies in the US mainly. I had colleagues from Palestine and I had colleagues from the US. And I always noticed that the intrinsic motivation for us as Palestinians to push the limits and to prove ourselves to the other side has always put us like even ahead of the others. So, me personally, there is some kind of stigma that, these guys in the West are, better than us, or I don't know, they're different people, or there is that like thing in our minds that tell us that, we are less and they are more. And then when you get the chance to work with them, you as Palestinian, you want to prove otherwise. I want to say, okay, show me what you can do. And then you because of the grit that you have and because of the intrinsic motivation to perform, we end up performing better than them. And I've seen this, time and again. I've seen, people from the West working with us and saying, wow, I mean, you guys are like out of this world. The way, how fast you turn around things, how critically you think, how good you are at how hardworking you are. It just, amazes people because we have that grit and we have that intrinsic motivation. And I think that's like that's the number one trait that maybe not Palestinians, but I think many of people in the Arab world, they do have that thing to prove themselves.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jafar. And for Gaza, Fadi, I think that's a whole other story. Like my favorite people to work with are from Gaza because they're literally out of this world. So can you tell us more about the talent in Gaza?
Yeah, actually, lately we started to try to normalize ourselves much more. We are normal people. We are not different. The situation is different. The circumstances are different. This is the difference that is making us trying to survive much more and trying to find solutions. And beside what Abeer and Jafar mentioned, I want also to show that we have a proven record of work with several startups in the MENA region and with several companies all over the world. Most and lots of startups and successful startups, especially in the MENA region, their kitchen is in Gaza. And they started from the scratch from Gaza. I don't want to mention lots of startups and names of naming the startups, but we have a proven record in that. This is because of the situation there and the circumstances there, we love challenge and we are trying to challenge ourselves. We face any problem in a way that it will be solved and we will solve it. So we have the challenge ability inside ourselves, and also it's normal for us to resilience and to survive. So whatever we will face, we will try to solve and to work on. Much more about that, not even the basic knowledge that that Abeer mentioned and the normal knowledge. whatever needs to increase our abilities, our skills, and trying to face any new challenge, we learn by ourselves. We just search and do this work by ourselves. It's limited area for us. We are not traveling a lot. It's not easy for us to leave Gaza and get back. So we are trying to find a solution, trying to find the solution by ourselves. So it's important for Gazans that they have this challenging attitude and the ability to resilience. I have been in direct contact with, specifically in tech, let's say, for several generations of tech generations, let's say. And all of them in the same and different eras and different areas, they try to enhance their abilities and they try to continue their work. We have also lots of people from Gaza and from Palestine as well, who are now working with companies like Microsoft, like Meta, like Booking, all those big and respectful companies. They are working with their teams closely, and they are part of these teams. So as I mentioned, we are normal people, but we are trying to do our best just to show the world that we need to be normal. We need to be like you. We need to live like you. We need to travel. We need to work, and just to be like normal people.
It's really sad, honestly. I can't find another word. That our hopes as Palestinians is just to be normal. Like we just want to be normal. We want to be in a group and not to be the spotlight because we're Palestinians. So that's the theme of everybody. Okay, so you've all addressed the perks of hiring a Palestinian. And I think a lot of recruiters in many times have hesitations. Just like investors have hesitations in investing in a Palestine-based company, they also have hesitations in to hire Palestinian talent that is based in Palestine. So I would like to address a question on the risk. Like, how do you respond to that risk question? What do you do as recruiters to, as you like mediators in the recruitment process, to mitigate that risk and make sure that the job is delivered to the recruiters? Maybe I start with you, Abeer. You're muted.
Yeah, sure. I love this question. Thank you. Okay, so after working for more than 12 years on this project, I think I get to know how we can, really manage the risk. And the first thing that I would say, first of all, we have to know we are for-profit company with social mission. And why we did that? Because we want to be sustainable. This is number one. So what that mean in terms of business? In terms of business, we know that we have to offer business values, and we understand what businesses need, and we understand that there is deadline. We should have committed to our business partners, to our clients who trust us to give us like this work. And I worked with different, with more than 70 client across the world, from from Silicon Valley, from United States in general, from Germany, Europe, UK, from the Gulf region. And what I noticed that the business values come first, and you have to understand that. Then we say, okay, we offer social values, which is empower Palestinian. You will get 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And I talk about what the values that they can get when they hire Palestinian, but also they know that when they hire Palestinian, they hiring Palestinian in conflict zone. So what that's mean? So that means that there is a risk. Now, as a business, my duty or my commitment is to find solution to make or to minimize the risk of my clients. And I would say that the first thing that I did with that, I extend my my talent to region, to whole MENA region. This is the first tactic. which was like very important. And that's happened with me. When I run the company, I go through many of the, like the attacks that happened to Gaza. So I will give you example. In 2014, when I ran, I got like a contract from Time Out magazine, and I hired 30 Palestinians from Gaza. Then the war started, and then we wanted to, complete the job. And I was like, to be honest, at the beginning, I did not know what I have to do. Then till one of the Gazan contractor contacted me, and he said, Abeer, if I survive till tomorrow, I will send you the project. Then I said, okay, it's mean more, this job means more than just job for those people. So my duty as a business owner is to find solution. Then I went to Egypt and also to Jordan, and I asked the translator there to be backup for us, to help us with that. And that's the first idea, the practical idea that came to me when I decided to extend also MENA Alliances to be in the MENA region, so they can be backup if anything happened in Palestine or inside Palestine. Now, the other thing that we take also into our consideration, so especially at this moment, I will give you an example. It's just like happening now. So I have a UK project, and during the UK project, or during implementing this project, which is we build software application, my team, the team who were working on this project, were from Gaza. And when the war started, they could not work, and it was like so dangerous to them to work. So what we did, we asked the people in Egypt to work with us. So they were backup for us. And then the client need more expansion. And then someone from Gaza recently approached me and say, I'm a senior developer, I can work. I have a solar energy in my home. I can't promise that I can be all the time because I don't know what will happen. So, and I was like thinking about our social mission. I said, we are running because of that, and we want to give them opportunity. So what I did, that I hired someone in Gaza to do this work, the developer from Gaza. I said, okay, we will hire you, but we will have also backup in West Bank. So we have two backup to work together. So I said, both of them, they will work now on the project as long as we don't have any issue. Once we have any problem, we will have a backup. Then they will work with us. So that's the second thing, that we always have a backup. We have a regional outreach. We also, as a company, committed to complete the project, whatever we have. We have also backup services, so for all our projects. So if anything happened, all our work exists on the cloud, so nothing will be lost. In that terms, we worked with, for example, with Silicon Valley companies on data projects. And you know what it's mean to have data there. And all of that, what we did, we create always a way or using technology. So for example, when we worked on this data project, we integrate with the client platform. So the data will not be transferred to Palestine, but we will work on their platform in the United States. And this is part of how we work, Lema, on mitigate tasks or projects. So I want to make sure that every client have to know that we put you as a priority as well, and your work, and we understand what's business mean. We are not just like, like it's not, we are not charity. We are businesses. And we understand that there is something, or there is commitment we have as a businesses. So that's why I want to make sure that everyone don't feel worried about hiring Palestinian, because we know how to run business in conflict. And that's something unique. No one knows how to do that. We knows how to do it. So we handle all of that for many years, and be rest assured we can handle that for you.
Problem solving. We will always find a solution for that problem.
Exactly.
Jafar, I'll come to you in a bit, but I wanted to ask Fadi about this question, but also use it as an opportunity for you to tell us more about I call them the forgotten now, which are the Gazans who left Gaza and are based in Cairo, waiting for jobs and need some jobs. So can you tell us more about, like, how would you usually address this question, and tell us more about the amazing talent that is leaving Gaza and is based now in Cairo?
Yeah, let me at first talk about our sector, this tech sector in Palestine, and how is it working. And I want to bring something from the history. It's almost within the last 15 years, because I have been closely with PITA, Palestine Information Technology Associate, and as I have witnessed, at least we have two different projects working on branding the sector and trying to position our tech sector. So what we are in currently cost us a lot of time, effort, and money just to show the world that we are trustworthy and we can provide something powerful for within this era. So it was not an easy journey just to prove this. It was not something came by chance. It was an effort by every single person working in this industry, either from individuals trying to prove themselves over Upwork, Freelancer, and all these freelancing platforms, from teams and companies trying to outsource their services to the world, and to have this proven success of providing reliable service, and with the support of all the national NGOs and the government, just to prove this and to provide something for this sector. So as well as this, it's not the first challenge that we are facing. We have been in such a challenge at least in Gaza for 3 or 4 times at least, and within every time, maybe this is the most destructive one, and maybe this is the most catastrophic one that we are facing now, but within the previous wars, our talents in Gaza, they completed to work, as Abeer also mentioned, lots of co-working spaces and remote work spaces completed to work and to provide their services for freelancers and remote workers, even during the war. It was not easy, it was not safe, but they kept working, and they kept providing for their jobs. So it's not the first challenge to prove ourselves, and the people who worked with us and the companies worked with talents from Palestine and from Gaza, they know clearly that whatever it will cost, we will deliver the job to the end. Maybe it take some time, maybe we will lose the connection in somehow, but we are providing this, and we will survive again. I'm sure about that. This is not the first time that we do this. But
Fadi, I just also want just to emphasize a point here, that there is also a responsibility. It's not just our social responsibility, it's also the social responsibility of the recruiters to be understanding of the situation. I think we can do an amazing job in like mitigating the risk here, but there's also a high responsibility to this world to, deal with this.
Ethics are not all the time the same. People are not responsible on the same level. But what I am sure, and that I have witnessed at least for 3 or 4 wars before this, most of them, even who didn't complete or proceed with us, they came back to our industry and to our sector, and they came back to our talents again. It's a fact, and this is what they have: the talent that we have, the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to provide a reliable thing. This is something that it's not easy to find, especially where the talent nowadays in the world, all over the world, it's a scarcity, and it's not easy to find talents and to provide tech talents. To go over the second point about displaced people who had to leave to Cairo. Up until now, we have more than 250 individual and person who are displaced to Cairo, and now they are jobless. And it's not easy for them to survive there. At least in Gaza, they are part of the scene. But in Cairo, they have to be within this normal society and to work and live like them. But the actuality from their inside, it's not the same. They are not legally on the Egyptian country. They are not capable of working legally also. So even if they found an opportunity, they will not be able to get it and to be employed. So also, this is a new adventure for Gazans, especially to work from that area. That's why we started from them from the beginning. We started to do some advocacy for them. We have a group with, as I mentioned, more than 250 person, and we are trying to connect them and network them with several job providers and employers. So it's important for them now to find jobs, because the burden on their shoulder is much more than what they can handle. They can handle a month, 2 months, but more than this, it's not easy to survive. We are now about to opening a co-working space for them, just to have a hub for them to come and work through it. And also we are trying to network them with several employers and employee seekers. So any help and any support for this part, it would be appreciated and very helpful for them to survive in them.
Yeah, I think this is a really crucial issue that we have to pay attention.
And by the way, just to mention something, most of them, up until now, they still want to stay in Cairo and still in Egypt, just for one reason. Whenever the war come to an end, they want to get back to Gaza, and they want to rebuild Gaza again, and they want to stay and to stick with their land and their country. So it's very important for them to stay in Egypt and to keep themselves in Egypt, just to get back as soon as they can.
That's beautiful, and also important to mention that people want to go back to Gaza,
Sure.
and we need to help them maintain their lives right now so they can make it happen. Jafar, do you have anything to add on this point?
Yeah, maybe I'll just mention very quickly what like the initial reactions that we sometimes get from companies that we talk to. So the first thing is power. Is there power available? Internet, is there internet? And how do I pay? I'm not sure I can pay. And all of these three are like there is some sort of stereotype that these are problematic, but in reality they're not. As a matter of fact, when we talk about internet, for example, the infrastructure in Palestine is excellent compared to even international standards. You know, we have fiber optic cables connected to every home, and so on and so forth. So we have to educate. Like we find ourselves at a stage where we often have to educate people that it's possible to work with Palestine. You can pay people, and even if, you know, of course you can send money directly, but even if you don't want to send money, you can do through other means. So we are part of the ecosystem. We're part of the international workforce, and then there's nothing that stops us. You know, like there's no like logistical obstacle. Of course, you know, the war in Gaza right now is a whole different level. Of course, we understand that, but you know, in the normal situation, I would say, you know, working with Palestinians is just like working with anybody else. You know, they're able to be connected, they're able to be out there. Yeah, so there's no obstacle.
Thank you, Jafar. This is really important. So a way to, you know, start closing our discussion today, one point that I keep mentioning is again, how do we design solutions that are sustainable and for the future in Palestine? And I know Abeer and Jafar, you both decided to run this as a social enterprise. You decided to run this as a business and to provide this. And I will go now. Why did you make this decision? But also to start your you issue your call to actions for whether recruiters or talent in Palestine, how they can access your platforms. My colleagues will send the links in the chat. We will also send them the post-webinar blog. This is in one way. And Fadi, I know you're running a crowdfunding campaign. So we'll also come now to you to ask you, why did you choose to do this? And how are you experiencing this kind of funding that is not aid related? It's coming from the people. And how is icon liberating experience? So we start with you, Abeer. Why did you choose to run this as a social enterprise? Briefly, please. And how people can act today.
Okay, so I always have, as a Palestinian lived in Palestine for a long time, I noticed what it means to depend on donation or on donors and how that impact on the life of people. For example, when in 2002, my dad was like working in public sector, and because the Israeli and also the international community wanted to put pressure on Palestinian at that time, they stopped the funding. And my father went, he was like the only one who working at that time, and he was like unable to have his salary. He did not have any salary for 1 year. I just want people to think about what mean for a family consist of 10 to not have salary for 1 year. I was in the university, and I was not able to pay my tuition for the university. And I was so upset because I want to be in the university, but my father can't afford that at that time. Now, and then I just also I worked with NGOs for more than 5 years before I established my business. And I noticed how it's work and how the donation work and how they, sorry to say that, I will say it, clearly, they corrupt Palestinian and they corrupt the community. And really, I just decided, I said, no, this is the time we will build Palestinian economy by ourselves. And we have to do that without any pressure from any donors, from anyone outside. And if we want to build that, we have to build for-profit companies. And I start doing that, and I start noticing how our company just getting, we are working even during the war. So we don't care. No one will ask us to suspend our, for example, services. We offer aids also for Palestinian in Gaza, and we did that, and no one put any pressure on us. And we will complete doing that. So I want to say here, and I want people who are watching us know that when you support Palestinian companies, especially for-profit companies, you have to know that you are supporting economy, and you are supporting, having sustainable economy in Palestine. It's an ecosystem. When you support, when you give jobs through MENA Alliances or through TAB or for Fadi, for example, all of that, we will be able to run our operation. We will be able to hire talents from Palestine. We will keep running. So it's important to know it's not a charity. It's something you are participating in, a prosperity Palestinian, sustainable Palestinian economy. And that's what we need. We have to support each other. Now, what we are doing now. So during, through the campaign that we launched, Jobs for Palestine, we currently do, we currently, running or planning for a virtual career fair. Why we are running virtual career fair? Because as my colleague mentioned here, everyone's saying, oh, Palestinian, how you will work? They think that we are living in tents. So what I decided, I said, no, you have to see what the real faces of Palestinians. See, for example, the people who are highly educated, who have a master degree in, like in machine learning and AI. You will see people working, like having, computer scientists. And that's what I wanted to do through the career fair. And at the same time, we want companies to commit to hire. So I really, now the call to action for you, which is, if you know any companies who are interested in hiring, please tell them about the virtual career fair and ask them to apply for that. I think Lema will provide all these links later. The other thing, if you know any CTO, any CEO, or any like a HR or recruiter interested to hire, please make introduction, and we will do the rest of the work. The other thing for our talents who are looking for jobs, either from Egypt, Turkey, who are existing now in West Bank or in Gaza, please apply for jobs for Palestine. So our team working night and day, just like to make sure that we offer you the needed support in terms of CV writing, interview skills, and also job opportunities to offer you or to help you and support you. I noticed also that there is people who are interested in volunteering and mentoring. Yes, we need volunteers. And if you interested, also you can send us email at support@MENAalliances.com. You can go for our website. We have, we have a landing page called Jobs for Palestine. So you send us email to know or to show that your interest in volunteering as well. So that's what I wanted to say, and thank you so much, Lema, for this, for hosting us and giving us the platform to say our words.
Thank you, Abeer. The need is too high, and the actors are worthy, like you, Tab and Manara and Furas, and the many providers that are working in Palestine. And again, my colleagues are sending the links now in the chat. I apologize. We will need a few minutes of your time, my audience, just to wrap up. Turning to you, Jafar, tell us about why did you choose this social enterprise, and what can recruiters or talent, how can they join up?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I felt that, or I feel that, the Palestinians who get the chance to have good education and to have, good opportunities. I think it's our obligation of sorts to bring the same opportunities to our fellow Palestinians. And this is what I always tell myself. If personally, if I do well for myself and for my family, and I don't affect or impact the lives of my community, then when I'm old, I would not be happy. I would just feel that I have wasted some of my life. So I do feel that it's important for all of us, to be happy as we grow older, to have that passion and to have that DNA to do well. Our people deserve to be given. They have a lot. They have a lot to offer, and anything we can do to support them definitely is we should do. Yeah, that's why that's my main passion and why I'm driven by this. How can people support or be part of this? Either by recruiting talent from Palestine, and I think Tasnim has been sharing the links on how you can access that through TAP. So recruiting is one, and second, through the initiative that we launched, Palestine's Future, where you can mentor or provide traineeships or provide jobs. So yeah.
Thank you, Jafar. Fadi, you're running a crowdfunding campaign. Tell briefly about your experience and what is your call to action to the community?
Yeah, actually, we don't have enough space to discuss how human relief and the human aid is responding, but there is a crucial problem with this. They are not responding according to the needs and according to the priorities of the need of the target. they are responding according to the viewpoint of their side. So this is a gap, and this is a problem that we need to solve together. But it's a very important thing, and I mentioned this because at the beginning, when we were talking with some kind of donors and some kind of supporters, they were very interested, they like it, but they didn't think that this is the priority now from their own point of view. And this is a very big problem, because from their side, they just need food, they need shelters, and it's not a priority for them to work. Who will work? And they will not work, and we don't need them to work. We need them just to stay alive and to stay safe. On the same side, during the most difficult days and weeks in northern Gaza, where people didn't have food and they didn't eat for days and weeks, lots of people called us and talked to us for HopeHub to open a co-working space for them in northern Gaza. While they didn't eat and they didn't drink for days, and some of them for more than a week. One of them, she is, I always emphasize this and showcase this story. Mahasan, she contacted me. She is an animator, and she, within the catastrophic and the most difficult days, she contacted me and she asked me to open an initiative for them in northern Gaza. I asked her clearly, do you have food? Do you have water? She told me clearly that we don't have. And it's not easy for us to eat for more than a week. But for her, every single day, she is trying to do her work, and she was dedicated to do her job. She was taking the stairs for five levels up to the roof, with an eSIM with a very weak internet connectivity, trying to get a signal just to send her work and to get connected and to get to do the work. So such a small and miniature thing like this, taking from her around 4 or 5 hours a day, despite the work itself, it was not a barrier for her to do. So it was not easy for us, even for us to start with normal aid and normal donations from normal organizations, and to start the work. So it was a shortcut for us to go through LaunchGood and to kick off our crowdfunding campaign. And it was amazing how the response were, and the people helped us a lot. We are now 22K below the target that we are trying to reach. So it's good for anyone who want to help us to extend our services and to keep working with this, just to donate us over LaunchGood.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Fadi. And I want to mention to everybody that as Build Palestine, we are highly invested in tackling this issue of international aid and the damage that it has caused to Palestine. And this is why we believe that social enterprises that are sustainable are a viable option for Palestine and for the building a resilient economy in Palestine. My colleagues now will share our blog at Build Palestine, where we created many resources guiding you on how to maximize the impact of your giving. So even when you donate to Palestine, you need to consider a few things to make sure that you're maximizing the impact of your giving, that you're giving directly to a Gaza-based NGO or a Palestine-based NGO, among many other considerations that you have to in mind. I would also like to highlight another initiative that we support at Build Palestine called Furas. with Furas, they focus on the younger talent, and they also expand beyond digital skills. If you're a recruiter who is looking for all kinds of talent in Palestine, not just digital skills, you can do this through Furas. And now they have a B2B sales initiative that they are running, and they will run even more in the future, so you can reach out to them. I would also like to invite everybody at the end of this discussion to join us at Build Palestine under the olive tree, تحت الزيتونة. As you can see right now, this is not enough to discuss everything that we wanted to discuss, and we're actually thinking now of hosting another discussion for everybody who is interested. I see, I'm sorry, we have many questions that are unanswered still. We would follow up on a discussion for the community with our speakers, hopefully, to get answers to your questions. And this is a community that supports Build Palestine, but also enables us to continue doing the work we do. And we run many, many events with change makers on the ground, and we help also Palestinians and diaspora and allies who are working, make an impact in Palestine, to connect with the team here in the ground, so we can provide you with insights and connections. So this is, I just wanted to extend this invitation to everybody. Thank you all. Thank you, my speakers. This has been amazing. I know we need like a more 3-5 hours to continue discussing this, but again, for all the audience, please tell your colleagues, tell your network about these amazing initiatives. We will be sending you all the recording in addition to all the resources. And thank you for your patience and for giving us 8 minutes of your time. And I hope this was insightful and helpful for you. Thank you again, and have a lovely and bearable, as I say, rest of the day, and pray for people in Gaza. Thank you.